All right, let's get into it. So, our first review of the day is going to be for the anthology series 1726 there. This is from the mind there of Fujimoto there, who people might know is the creator of Chainsaw Man. So this is an adaptation of a collection of his short stories there. So you had that
And I looked up what the title actually means. It's the ages he was when he wrote all of these. So he wrote them
ah
between 17 and 26 years old.
Oh, okay. Nice. It's like when Zack Snyder, when he wrote Sucker Punch at a young age, then he adapted it. Okay, so you got a lot of that going on. Okay, so yeah, you got all these different stories there of this, and it's a
That would have been 13 to 13, though.
8 episode collection here on this Amazon Prime. Like I said, anthology. So every episode is different there, different themes, different set of characters, different issues and problems there. But with all of that Fujimoto weirdness and sexual tension there, and violence and blood and guts, all the stuff you come to expect if you have seen stuff like Chainsaw Man, things like Look Back, which was also Fujimoto's there, an adaptation of his work, which was also that was also on Amazon Prime as well. Look Back there, so also
We're getting
which
close to everything he's done having been adapted.
yeah, and we loved that as well. We loved Look Back. I think it was one of your favorite movies of the year,
It
right?
was. It was. I absolutely adored it. And I think they recently said they are going to be doing like a home media release for it.
Nice. Okay, very cool there. So yeah, that's what we got here. So it's 8 episodes. We're gonna be discussing it, talking about our favorite episodes there, least favorite, much like we do with anthologies. Sometimes anthology shows can be a mixed bag there because you have these collection of different things kind of going on. So we're gonna get into that there. But Sage, what are your thoughts here on this series?
Well, speaking of the, sort of unevenness of a lot of anthologies, yeah, not all of these are like my favorite thing ever. There's a couple I think that I stand out to be more. But what I will say is even the ones that I'm not as into, the animation I think seems pretty spectacular across the board. Even when the story isn't necessarily my favorite, it is consistently impressive on like a visual stylistic level. So that's one thing I think, especially because it's so short, that makes it worth watching, even if again the stories aren't all hitting super hard. But I think you could tell. I mean, the dude's a total weirdo, right? I mean, if Chainsaw Man didn't tell you that already, this definitely gives you just the sense that this dude is kind of out of his mind. Some of these stories are very out there and very weird. Like just that very first one with the where these kids are hiding as pretending to be chickens in the schoolyard of a school where aliens are going to. I mean, it just the premise on its face is so out there and weird. Um, but I do think he does manage to sort of ground some of his strangeness in a lot of very realistic human emotion, which I think, again, even when I'm not the biggest fan of each individual one, there's still something there, I think, clearly that he's hitting on, even if it doesn't always feel fully fleshed out.
Yeah, and you get a wide range of things here. Some of the episodes like focus on love, focus on relationships, focusing on violence there, and sometimes all the things mixed in together there. I think thinking back this, thinking about this series, some of my favorite episodes. I think I really enjoy Woke Up as a Girl Syndrome. I like that one, which was the seventh episode. No, the sixth one
And it had some of the
there.
most creative animation flourishes too. Like every couple seconds, it was like changing styles almost entirely.
Yeah, that one I think was also the most visually impressive, with that one. That one was really done, and the whole premise of that one, was about, just well, somebody woke up as a woman. I mean, all of a sudden they just, this guy just woke up there as this woman and, how he kinda deals with that and the treatment, from his, classmates there from that, and then he even had a girlfriend and, how do they deal with that? I thought that was it was, classic kinda body swap type thing, humor that you had there that was kind of funny, that kind of worked there with that one. I really enjoyed. Now this one is more of a seems like a connection to Chainsaw Man there. in the backstory with that, where you have Nayuta there,
Yeah,
who's
Nayuda. At least that's how I've been saying it. I could be
uh,
wrong too.
Nayuta there. Yeah, I think it was Nayuta there who was it's about the prophecy. So she's the control
It's like,
devil there, or prophecy devil. Uh
I mean, it doesn't have quite, I don't think, that label on it. She's just I think she's just generally a sort of antichrist, sort of, end of the world demonic entity. There's some stuff here in that one in particular that, if you keep watching Chainsaw Man as it goes, you are going to see a character with the same name at some point. I don't want to give much away about that because it's, not exactly what we're reviewing, but there's seeds in this that will be like fundamental to some of the later parts of that series.
Yeah. Very, like you said, very Omen-like, like, this child, like, this whole town that she lives in wants to kill her because they see her as the devil, and that she is gonna she even has horns like a devil.
Yep.
She even has that, there, so people want to kill her there. Sometimes with Hellboy, I mean, he's got people wanna kill him because he looks like a devil, but at least
True.
at least he saves people. This girl seems like she's just weird. She's you know, she can't even really speak in, like, she can speak English, but she speaks in full sentences. But it's like when somebody asks her a question, she can only speak in, like, about death or murder or gore or pulling things apart, or you know what I mean. She can't say I'm hungry. It's just like, no, I want guts or something, or blood. Anarchy. Like something like that. And the one who's raising her she has her older brother there, and she loves him and he loves her there, even though she might bring about the end of the world. But I mean, hey, family love and all that. Um, so this is like a connection to Chainsaw Man and in that, and maybe like I said, to talk about it deeper from your perspective would be a little bit more of a spoiler
Yeah,
for
because
that.
we're that stuff is like that won't even be season 2 of Chainsaw Man. We're talking like season 3, like
Mm,
material.
yeah. Um, if I had to think of like a weak episode, I'm trying to think of like a weaker episode for me. The episode where they were in the rain, what was that? Love is Blind. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, Love is Blind.
to me that was kind of a weaker one. I thought. What about for you? What was a weaker one?
I'd agree. I think that might be my least favorite. I think that one it feels a bit more like they just has like a bit that it's doing kind of the whole time, but it's not. It's just kind of more and more like over exaggerated versions of that same bit rather than as much of a little mini narrative as the rest of the episodes are.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, a lot of the premise of that episode is like you have these two characters, and he's like, I think, trying to like confess to her how much he cares about her, and then it's
Yeah, and he just can't bring himself to do it, and crazier things keep happening, and he's like, "Oh, but I'm not going to let this get in the way," and it just becomes it's really just feels like a sort of a play in absurdism, but and I don't know if it feels like it evolves too far beyond that. Some very good animation in it, though, I will say.
yeah. But yeah, it just doesn't feel like it really goes that many. I mean, it's funny a little bit, and these things aren't very long. They're only like 12 to 20 something minutes, so they're
Yeah.
not very long there with that. But yeah, I think that was kind of a weaker one. If I had to say another weaker one, I wasn't really too big of a fan of the mermaid one. I didn't really like that one too much there.
Yeah, I thought that I'd also say that one was okay compared to the others.
Yeah. So for me, I think some of my favorites, I mentioned Nayuta, the prophecy, the woke up as a girl syndrome one, and the assassin one I liked as well.
That
That
was the
one
other
I
one I was going to bring up that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, and it's that story is all about this girl who's like you see that from an early age she was fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see her go against the girl with the prophecy girl and see who's more fucked up. But yeah, so you see that she just from an
You could
early
have a
age she
whole
was always
competition with brackets for Fujimoto characters in general.
she was like just she had seems like she had a normal childhood and normal parents, but she just liked to kill small animals, which is always not a good sign there. And then she grew up to be like this top level assassin. She meets this guy, and this guy asks her to kill him. And then when she tries to kill him, there she can't because he's a vampire. Different vampire rules here because she even blows his head off and he won't die. But
Yeah.
he's like a Are they saying like maybe he's Dracula, maybe, or even like the first vampire? Maybe are they saying?
I don't know if I got that sense. Just at least old for sure. At least old. Very very
Yeah.
old.
So yeah, you got that. And I like that. And then eventually,
That one weirdly had almost the most wholesome, in a way, outcome at the end.
that was one of the brighter ones, yeah, for sure. I would say the one where the kid catches the bullet that has a really good
That's true.
like,
That's true. That one is
yeah.
also just one of the. That one is one of the ones where you really are like Fujimoto. You really are out of your goddamn mind. This is so weird. What are you smoking?
So you got that there. There was the episode Sisters, which that reminded me a lot of Look Back.
I think, yeah, I think similarly how the Nayuta of the Prophecy, you could see seeds for Chainsaw Man inside that story. I think you could see seeds of Look Back's story a little bit in that Sisters one because it's very similar in terms of like this just kind of sort of understanding of like what can make a great piece of art and like why people are even create art in the first place and whether they're doing it for like good or bad reasons, and that's a broad way of saying it, but I think that those things are very shared between them.
mm, yeah, so that kind of reminded me a lot of that one. Even similar, I think the way the characters look and the animation there, I think looks very similar to
Well,
kind of the.
there's one of the girls in Look Back, and then one of the sisters here looks almost identical, and then I there or oh actually no sorry I'm mixing up my my character designs. It's one of the sisters in Look Back, and then it's the girlfriend in the Woke Up as a Girl Syndrome episode, and then there's another character again later like season 3 of Chainsaw Man that is also I swear that same character design used again. People have been speculating that this girl she's a little bit of a she can be a little bit of a bully every single one of these characters that looks like this. So he told a story about this girl pushing him off his bike in like grade school, and people are thinking like that must be that what that girl looked like. He's like drawing her as like a bully into a bunch of his different stories.
Okay. Interesting. But yeah, you have that episode as well there. That's okay. I think it's fine. With that episode, I think it's a pretty decent one there. And we mentioned that one in the first episode, which is the you mentioned it earlier, which is the chicken episodes. You have the human race has basically almost gone extinct because aliens took over, and then the aliens like to basically their food is consuming humans. And they've been basically doing that, and once they took over, they just like, okay, I guess we like this place. They settled in, they became human themselves. They started going to school, they
Wearing their clothes and everything.
wearing the clothes. I mean, all things like that. And then some of the only kind of surviving members of humanity either live in like the mountain there. Um, and then you have these other characters you see pose as chickens because the aliens have a hard time distinguishing between animals and human beings sometimes. So that gets distorted. But somebody finds them out and then tries to help them, an alien there. So that's kind of how'd you like that episode?
I thought that one was decent. I think some of the as far as like action animation goes, it had I think some of the best animated sequences in it. Um, I don't know. I certainly I don't think yeah not my favorite, but I think there was some fun to be had to it, and it is one of the ones that has like what feels like a very fully explored narrative. It's like hey you had this idea. I think you got as much out of it as you're gonna get.
Yeah. It did have the best action, I think, out of the series. You are correct in that. I think
And
that.
there's a monster design that feels very reminiscent of Chainsaw Man in that too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I mean, the other ones have action in it as well, but I think that one's the most like anime traditional, maybe shonen type action.
Definitely.
In that first one. How would you rank the episodes there?
I see. I mostly thought I thought about what my top three would be more than anything, which I think would be the Nayuta of the Prophecy, the Shikaku. That's the vampire episode. That's episode 4, and then as a third, uh, hmm, maybe the woke up as a girl syndrome just purely honestly even more than anything else for just the stylistic sensibility of the animation because it just tries so many things and just does so much so quickly. After that I'd probably put a lot of them just kind of closer to each other after
Hmm.
that.
Okay.
But
And then what will be your least favorite? Do you have, you want to
I
say
think
least
I
favorite?
think my least favorite is we just mentioned it too. What was the
Mermaid one?
I don't. It wasn't even that one. I think it was the one where
Love
they're
is
standing in the rain. Yeah, Love
Love
is
is Blind.
Blind. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think that was my least favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, yeah, I say my favorites. The Nayuta of the Prophecy woke up as a syndrome girl. In the assassin episode, that one was really good. Shakua, yeah,
Shikaku.
Shikaku there. That one's really great. I think those three are pretty much top for me. The ones that are just okay are like Sisters is okay. I find that all right. The Stop the Bullet there one, Saska, Stop the Bullet. That's fine as well.
Which I know that's out of all of these, that's Fujimoto's personal favorite. Is the Stop the
Mm,
Bullet one.
okay, he wanted to stop a bullet for somebody
I
there.
guess so.
He had a crush on his teacher there. Yeah. Okay, so there's that one. The Alien episode there, that one's fine as well. I think I put that in this looks like it's fine category. I think the action, like, it really kind of does a lot for that, and it has an emotional kind of ending to it of what kind of happens there with that. This kind of dystopian type thing there, and I think Fujimoto showcases because it has both elements of crazy action, also this kind of dark type thing aspect of it as well, and also these human resolve, human kind of characters there with that one. And
He's great at just monster design in general too. So one thing that stands out about that Alien episode is just the number of alien designs just in like the background in some of the scenes. Like it's just there's just so many unique looking designs.
yeah. Um, and then also because it's cool because the aliens have like a second form. They go Super Saiyan and they
Yep.
can have like an alternate form and shit like that, which is okay. It kind of reminded me of something like Fooly Cooley. It kind of reminded me of something like that.
Totally. Yeah, it definitely has that energy.
Then, like I said, the bad ones, Love is Blind, I didn't really, like as much there. Then Mermaid, Rhapsody, it was like and that whole episode, we didn't really talk about it much, but that's about, like, this boy, and he discovers a mermaid, and it follows more the traditional, I guess, lore of mermaids, and mermaids eat men and eat humans, but, he goes under the ocean, and he's able to play, like, there's, like, a piano down there, and he plays piano, and then he, I guess, romances one of the mermaids and everything like that.
It was
Uh
also weird how much the mermaid, like they made a point that like, oh, this mermaid that he likes looks like his mom too. It was
Mm,
kind of strange. I don't know.
okay,
There's a little Oedipus complex thing happening there.
okay. It's like, Frankenstein. Okay, yeah, I like that. But, yeah, so you had that. It's just I don't know, just what I didn't really want to dig it all that much there with it, and the animation style with it looked kind of not an animation style I'm too big of a fan of when it comes to anime. It's just me
Yeah.
personally there. Just too kinda bright and kinda sunny and, yeah, cutesy there for me. But yeah, so I got that there. So that'll be, my list. Best, worst, kinda okay in the middle there. And this is, does he have any more collection of short stories, or is this pretty much it?
There's one more thing called Goodbye Erie, and that is not a short story. It's I guess it classified as a one shot manga, which is basically one full volume, and so that's basically the same length as Look Back. So that I would not be surprised if that there's an adaptation in the works of that at the moment. And then Fire Punch is that's like a longer series that he did before Chainsaw Man, but that's all that's left of stuff that this guy's done that has not been animated. It's just those two
Mm,
things.
gotcha. Okay. So for me, I'd give it a good tune in for me. I think it's more good than bad, I think, with this anthology series, which is what you want. So I think there's a good ratio of good episodes to bad episodes. What about you?
I'm in the exact same place, just kind of a regular good tune in. I think these stories are interesting. But you can also tell that they're a young storyteller experimenting with ideas, right? Before really committing to something longer, like Chainsaw Man, where he's just got a more kind of complex, developed sense of what that narrative is, or Look Back, even, right? So I think it's very much a young artist trying things out, seeing what he can get to work. I think it's very cool that this got animated at all. I honestly wasn't expecting this to. I figured this would just be like that thing. It's like, oh yeah, if you've seen all of Chainsaw Man and you just need some more Fujimoto, go read this little set of short stories. And then, well, there's an anime version of it. I think if you're a big fan of this creator, definitely recommend it. If you just like anime and you just want to watch something that's pretty quick and easy, I think it's good for that. I'm not. I don't think there's any like masterpiece stories in here, like I would say Look Back is. I think he really evolved as he went. But it's cool just to see kind of where someone started and where they are now.
Mm, yeah. Get inside his mind a little bit more there with this story. So that's pretty cool.
The labyrinth that you can't find your way out of.
Yeah. So that was our thoughts. 1726 on Amazon Prime right now. People can check it out. Short watch, only 8 episodes. I watched it in the night. So watch it in the night there. Only, like I said, 12 to 22 minutes. So good. I think an enjoyable binge there for people. All right.